Let's talk about money. Now, money isn't always the most interesting subject to talk about, but the reality is, all these interesting adventures we go on, all these great camping trips we go on, and all these memories we make do cost money at the end of the day. And lately, quite a lot of people has been asking us, how much does it cost to go on one of these adventures or trips up into Africa? Now, that is a difficult question to give you a precise answer to because every trip's going to be a different trip and it's going to cost a different amount to do that. And there's various other factors that determine price as well, such as the length of your trip, where you're going, the amount of luxury you want, and a host of other determining factors. So it's difficult to give you a precise amount of what a trip will cost. However, I think there is a way I can give you a rough framework of what you could expect when you are planning a trip up into Africa. And that is by going through our last adventure we had into Namibia and Botswana and giving you the exact costs of everything we had to pay on that trip. Now, to get a better idea of that trip, you can go watch our video series of the trip. I'll put the link to the videos in the description below, or you can click here in the top right hand corner and go watch the first video of the trip. Now, before we go further in the video, there is a few things that I have to mention. First off, this trip is our trip and the trip we wanted to do at the amount of luxury and the cost we wanted to do it. So, yes, you can do this trip a lot cheaper, you can do this trip a lot more expensive and a lot more luxurious, but this was the trip we wanted to do and the places we wanted to see and the places we wanted to stay at. So, that's just the first thing I'm going to say about that. But I do still think you can get a good rough framework and a few ballpark figures of what it will cost to do a trip into Africa from what I can give you from our last trip. Next up, there's going to be a few costs that I'm not going to include in this video. The first one being your camping setup and the cost of your camping setup. I mean, everyone's got their own cars or tents or trailers or caravans what they tow along, so I'm not going to include that in the cost of this video. Just keep that in mind. Or if you're a tourist traveling down from America or Europe or any other place in the world, you're going to probably rent a car and going to spend time on the road in that car and camp in that car that you rent. So that prices you can also go look up at the travel agency's website or the rental company's website. You'll get a better idea of that prices from them. I'm also not going to include the price of food and general consumables and groceries because that's also going to differ from person to person. I myself, I like having a fire going every night and buying meat every night, as you can probably see. So my food and firewood price will probably be a lot more than the average person going camping. So that's also going to differ a lot from person to person. So I'm not including those prices as well. Just keep that in mind when you make your final calculations. All right, let's get stuck into it. Let me just give you a quick run through of what the trip entailed, and so that you just have a good idea of what we're working with here as we go through all the prices. So we obviously started off in Cape Town where we stayed. We drove up through Vioolsdrift into Namibia and up to Windhoek where we turned and went to Gebabis and crossed over into Botswana at the border post just outside of Gebabis. Buitepos. In Botswana, the first big area we visited was the Central Kalahari Game Reserve. We spent 5 nights there. And then from there, we spent 2 nights on the edge of the Magadi Pans and 2 more nights in the Moremi Game Reserve at Kwai before driving back down, also coming back down through Namibia and then exiting Namibia again at Mata Mata at the Galagadi Transfrontier Park. And we spent 2 nights at Tweedevieren in the Galagadi Transfrontier Park before turning the cars south and making our way back down to Cape Town. So that was just a quick run through of the trip. As I said, it was 18 nights, 19 days, and it was about 5,500 kilometers, roughly about that for the whole trip. So that's just a quick run through of what the trip entailed. First off, let's look at probably your biggest expense of this trip, and that is going to be fuel or diesel. Now, you're going to be burning up a lot of diesel as you cover these kilometers through all these beautiful countries. And what I like to do is I like to go sit down and work out exactly how many kilometers I'm going to be driving in each country. And then you can find the average fuel price or diesel price on a website that you can Google, and you'll find it for each country. And you can then use your own car's fuel economy figures to work out what it will cost you for those kilometers in that specific country. Now, as I said, the trip we did was about 5,500 kilometers. And beforehand, I worked out that I needed just over 14,000 Rand to budget for fuel for this trip. Now, I'm going to say something here that you have to keep in mind and definitely remember. Always over budget for fuel. You never know what's going to happen on the road. Roads wash away, and you maybe have a detour of 200 or 300 kilometers in the day. You're going to do game drives, you're going to do sightseeing, you're going to do all these stuff. So always over budget when it comes to fuel. At the end of the day, if you don't use the money, you always can take it back home with you. It's not like you're going to spend money and not use it. Always over budget when it comes to fuel. So as I said, my number I came to was just over 14,000 Rand, but I did budget 16,000 Rand for fuel for this trip. Right, then let's move on to your next biggest expense, and that will be your accommodation for the period of your trip. Now, I'm going to put up a table over here where you can see all the places we stayed at, how many nights we stayed there, and the price in Rand, dollar, and euro, so that you can get an idea of what each place will cost you. I'll run through them as well quickly. Also, the first place we stayed at was in Gruno at Namgate. We actually stayed in a room that night. That was the only stay on this trip. We did not camp, so that was 440 Rand per person for the night. That I think also included food there, but I'm not sure. And then we moved up to Windhoek, where we stayed in the Transkalahari Inn. That's a lodge just outside of Windhoek on the Gebabes Road. That was 175 Rand per person for the night. From there, we crossed over into Botswana. Now, there you will pay border fees at the border as well, but we'll get to that a bit later. And from Windhoek, we crossed over into Botswana, and we made our way up to Ganzi, where we camped at Palm Afrique Lodge in Ganzi. That was 334 Rand per person for the night. Now, in Ganzi, the reason we stayed there is because we had to stock up on food, because you can't take meat products and fresh product over the border, or various veterinary posts throughout the country as well. So that is important to remember, that you'll need to pass through some of these bigger towns or cities so you can stock up on food. And now that I'm actually talking about food, one thing that you can do to also budget a bit, what we do is we order our meat products in advance from supermarkets or butcheries in places like Ganzi or Maun. So you will then know in advance what the cost will be of your meat products. So it makes it a bit easier to budget as well, and you won't get a surprise when you're in the country itself and then see what the actual cost of food or meat products are. Anyway, let's move on with our trip. From Ganzi, we entered into the Central Kalahari Game Reserve. Now, you will pay park fees as well when you enter game reserves and when you spend the nights in game reserves, but we will get to the park fees a bit later in the video as well. So the first place we stayed in the CKGR was at Matopi Camp. That was 341 Rand per person for the night. Passage Camp we stayed there for 2 nights. We moved on to Passage Camp and stayed there for 2 nights. That was 681 Rand per person. And then from Passage, we moved on to Sunday's Camp, also in the Central Kalahari Game Reserve. And that was 681 Rand for 2 nights as well per person. From there, we exited the Central Kalahari Game Reserve and made our way up to the edge of the Magadigaди Pans to Gweta, and we stayed at Planet Baobab Lodge. Also 2 nights there, and that was 662 Rand for the 2 nights camping at the lodge itself. From there, we made our way up to Maun, where we also had to do a supply stop. We stayed at Audi Camp just outside of Maun. We camped there. That was 234 Rand per night. And then from Maun, we entered into the Maremi Game Reserve, and we stayed at Kwai Camp. And Kwai we stayed there 2 nights, and that cost us 552 Rand per night. For that, no, not per night, that cost us 552 Rand per person for the 2 nights that we stayed there. From Kwai, we exited the Muremi, made our way back down to Ganzi, where we had an overnight stop once again at Palm Afrique Lodge. We camped there. It was again 334 Rand per person for the night. Then from Ganzi, we went back into Namibia and drove down towards Mata Mata to enter into the Kgalagadi Transfrontier Park. This was probably a bit of a waste of time and a bit of a waste of money. We could have just done it through Botswana, but our plans was a bit up in the air and we didn't really know. We could have maybe changed it, so that's why we drove through Namibia. And also it was beautiful driving those parts of Namibia. We haven't been there in a while, so it was good to see that. But anyway, we stayed at Kalahari Game Lodge inside of Namibia just before Mata Mata border post as you enter into the Kgalagadi Transfrontier Park, and that was 350 Rand per person for the night at Kgalagadi Game Lodge in Mata Mata. From Kgalagadi Game Lodge, we then we crossed the border into South Africa, into the Kgalagadi Transfrontier Park at Mata Mata, but we stayed at Tweedevieren for 2 nights in the Kgalagadi. So that cost us 305 Rand for the 2 nights at Tweedevieren. And here we also had to pay park fees, those of us that didn't have a wild card. But we'll get onto the park fees a bit later in the video, as I said. And then from Tweedevieren, we were back on our way home. We just had one stop over at Langverwacht campsite in Nieuwoudtville. And that was 100 Rand per person for our stay there. So that was a quick run through of all the places we stayed at on this trip. As I said, if you want to see them a bit more, you can go watch our videos of our trips and you'll get a better idea of how each place looks like and what you can expect from each place, and you can then cross-reference it with the price and see if it's worth it, and if you want to have a bit more luxury or you want to do it a bit cheaper. So if we look at the total amount per person for accommodation for the whole trip, you will see that it's about 5,189 Rand for the accommodation for the whole trip, or $306 or 265 euros. Yeah, that's pretty much what it cost us for our accommodation on this trip. Next up, let's move to border crossings. You would have noted that I mentioned when I ran through the places we stayed at that we crossed borders, and you will pay fees when you cross the borders. So we had 4 border crossings on the strip. At 3 we had to pay because we didn't have to pay to come back into South Africa, which is our own country. And the first one was crossing over from South Africa to Namibia. At the Namibia side, you have to pay the RFA fees, which is the Road Fund Administration. It's basically your road tax that you pay to drive on the roads in the country. I will put a table up here again to show you the fees in the different currencies. But basically it's 445 Rand for a vehicle, and we had trailers as well, so it was 283 Rand for the trailer as well. So basically it cost us 728 Rand to enter into Namibia at the border, and we had to pay this twice because we came back from Botswana into Namibia again. This is not, although it says it's valid for X amount of days on the permit they give you, it means it's for the amount of days you consecutively stay in the country. If you exit the country and come back, you're going to have to pay this again. So it's just a single entry permit you get. It doesn't count if you hop over the border. You will have to pay this fee every time you enter the country. And as I said, because our plans was a bit up in the air, we did probably waste a bit of money coming back into Namibia instead of just driving back to the Kgalagadi in Botswana. But as I said, we made memories and we saw great places, and it was our trip. So that's the 2 Namibian border crossings. That's what you could expect. And also, Namibia has now started with that you require a visa for certain countries to enter into Namibia. Luckily, we as South Africans don't have to pay that. But I've gone onto the website to check, and you can see in the table as well here that for African countries, the visa that you can buy on site is about 1,200 Rand, and for other countries, it's 1,600 Rand. So just keep that in mind as well when you are traveling to and from Namibia. Then let's look at the border crossing between Namibia and Botswana, where you basically pay road tax as well to drive on the roads of Botswana as well. Now theirs is broken up in a few categories. I'll put it in the table here up here so you can see as well. First off, you will pay the National Road Safety Fund, both for your car and your trailer, which is 64 Rand for each one. Then you pay motor insurance on your car, which is 191 Rand. And then you pay a road transport permit for your car and your trailer, which once again is a 76 Rand for each one. So in total, it comes about to 471 Rand per car and trailer, or for us who had a car and a trailer, it was 471 Rand to cross into Botswana and drive on the Botswana roads. Next up, we're going to look at park fees. Now, remember, I said that when you're entering or staying in a national park or game reserve, you're going to have to pay park fees. And park fees are basically payable per person that enters the park and per vehicle and trailer that enters the park. So the first one we'll look at will be Central Kalahari Game Reserve. We stayed there for 5 nights, but you're going to pay for 6 days because you pay for the day you enter and exit the park. So basically, Central Kalahari Game Reserve does not have a different rate for SADC members and foreigners. So it's 190 pula per person to enter the park per day. And for your car, it will be 75 pula or 95 Rand per day it's in the park. And again, for your trailer as well, it will be 40 pula or 51 Rand per day that the trailer is in the park. So in total, we had to pay basically for Central Kalahari park fees per person for the 6 days we were there was 1,446 Rand per person for the 6 days. And then the park fees for the CKGR was for the motor vehicle and the trailer was 876 Rand for the 6 days we were in the CKGR. So the next game reserve we'll look at is the Moremi Game Reserve, where we spent 2 nights, so we had to pay park fees for 3 days. Moremi and Chobe, they're a bit more expensive in park fees than the other game reserves or game parks in Botswana, but they do have a SADC rate at Moremi and Chobe. For Moremi, the SADC rate was 205 pula, which is 260 Rand per person per night. For non-SADC countries, it was 343 Rand or 270 pula per person per day. The cars and the trailer prices was the same then Central Kalahari Game Reserve, so it was 75 pula or 95 Rand per car per day, and the trailer was 40 pula or 51 Rand per car per day. So in total for the Moremi, for the park fees per person to enter the park was for the 3 days was 780 Rand per person. And then for the car and the trailer, it was 438 Rand per car and trailer for the 3 days that we spent in the Moremi. Then our last park we visited was the Kgalagadi Transfrontier Park, where we spent 2 days, 2 nights, so 3 days in the park. And as we were residents of South Africa, the park fees was 129 Rand per person for us. SADC members are looking at 263 Rand per person, and then foreigners are looking at 576 Rand per person per day for the Kgalagadi. Once again, I'll put the table up with all the currencies so you can see. So for us, for the 3 days that we were in the Kgalagadi, it was 387 Rand per person for our park fees in the Kgalagadi Transfrontier Park, and we did not have to pay for the cars or the trailers to get into the park. So that concludes our park fees, and basically that concludes pretty much everything that I want to talk about, all the fees that I want to talk about in this video. There are some other fees that obviously, like I said in the beginning, I did not include the setup cost of your camping setup, or if you're going to hire a car, or if you have to fly to get to Africa first. I did not include that. That's going to differ from person to person, so that you will have to look at your own. As I said, I didn't include groceries and food because once again, that's also going to be different from person to person. And yeah, it's just I don't eat what you eat. I like to do stuff in a certain way. So it's going to be different from person to person. It's going to be too difficult to pinpoint the exact figure on that. Then other stuff that you should also include is pocket money or spending money. If you're up there, if you want to go do some excursions like game drives or boat cruises or fishing cruises. We didn't do a lot of excursions on this trip because we were doing our own game drives and spending a lot of time in the car and doing our own thing. So we went, I think we did one game drive in the Kalahari. That was basically the only excursion we did on this trip. But even not even excursions, just if you want to go have a meal at a restaurant the evening or something, or spoil yourself of a spa day at the lodge if you there, all that stuff. So you have to budget that extra in, a bit of spending money for your trip. Then also a bit of in case or emergency money. It's always good to have on hand, especially if you're traveling in Africa. It's bad roads, cars break, you get punctures, you have to fix stuff. Sometimes it takes a day or two to fix that. You have to stay at a place in a town that you did not budget for, that you didn't book for. So a bit of emergency money is always a good idea to budget for as well. And then we always take out travel insurance as well before we go on these trips. But that once again will depend on what type of insurance you want to take out and from what company you're going to take that insurance. So once again, a bit difficult to give you an exact figure on that, but it's quite easy to go look that up or talk to the right people to get a good amount on what travel insurance would cost. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all the fees I want to talk about. So if we can just wrap it up, I'll put two tables up here again, just to give you a good overall idea of what it will cost. So first off, you'll see I said the totals per person, so that will be your accommodation, your parks fees per person, not for the vehicles, and that you're looking at for the trip we did. You're looking at in the range of 7,802 rand or $460 or 389 euros. So that's just going to be your accommodation and your park fees for the trip we did, yeah. And then for the vehicles, because it's difficult to give a per person price for a vehicle because you might be four people in the vehicle or two people in the vehicle. So that you'll have to split how you split it between your family or your friends or whoever you're doing the trip with. But per vehicle, so that's once your border fees, your border crossing fees, and your road tax and all that, and your park fees and your diesel for the vehicle for the trip we did, you're looking at 19,241 rand, which translates to $1,135 or 981 euros. So that's the fees you're looking at. And then, as of course, as I mentioned, the fees I did not cover will also come on top of this, of these fees. But I think that's a good ballpark figure to look at, and it gives you, for people who hasn't done it before, who doesn't know what to expect and how much it costs to go up into Africa and what prices you need to think about and not think about. I think this will give you a good framework, a rough framework to work with. And the nice thing is you can go watch our videos, so you can see exactly where we were and what to expect from the places and what you're paying for and what you're getting. Yeah, as I said, you can do the trip cheaper, you can do the trip more expensive. We were away for 18 nights, so most people don't take 18 nights at one time to go have a holiday. We were fortunate enough that we can do that. And as I said, this was our trip. So this is places we wanted to see, places we wanted to go, places we wanted to stay. So once again, take that into consideration as well. But I do think this will give you, if you don't know where to begin, I think this will give you a good framework of what to expect. And for those more experienced guys among us, if I forgot something, because I can also forget stuff, pop it in the comments below. We're a community and we want to help each other. But yeah, thank you for watching the video. As always, we appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of our content. It's almost end of the year, so we'll have our top 10 list up soon, and then in next year we will start again with our campsite reviews and some more of our travel adventures. But until then, happy camping and stay safe in this festive season, and we'll see you again.